Welcome back to CenterStage. We're talking with actor, writer, director John Turturro. John, you were born in Brooklyn. At 6 years old, you guys moved to Queens. What was family life like in the Turturro household?
I would say it was a pretty active household. You know, 4 guys and my mom.
All right. Now, what did your dad do for a living?
My father was a builder.
And your mom?
And my mom was a dressmaker,
Mm-hmm.
and she was a singer before that.
Now, I'm from an Italian household, and it's very loud. Was your house loud?
Yes, it was loud. Yeah. Not as loud as my friend's house, but I, like a lot of people, I grew up with my mother and father going, moment to moment with every little thing. And when I was a kid, we would watch The Honeymooners, and we would call that show Mommy and Daddy. That's what we would say when Mommy and Daddy's on. And for some reason, even though my father wasn't that as big as Jackie Gleason, he looked like him a little bit, more of an Italian version of him.
All right, what were the favorite teams growing up for you and the family?
Well, my mother was a Dodger fan because she's from Brooklyn. I kind of rooted for the Yankees and the Mets. I remember when the Yankees got Thurman. I always liked catchers. I was a big fan of Thurman's.
Now, you broke your leg as a kid, and you were recuperating, and that kind of, from what I've read, helped you develop your interest in film, right?
Well, I had a lot of time. I had a big, long cast on, a lot of time to watch movies and think about
Couldn't leave the house?
Yeah, not for it, because I missed 8th grade.
Really?
But yeah, I had a tutor. The city supplied a tutor. And then I learned to walk again, and I played basketball, and I was like kind of between sports and, maybe, movies or acting or something. And then I got another injury my last year. I broke my hand, my senior season, in the middle of it. After I broke my hand, I said, this is not going to be my life. So
what actors grabbed you?
James Cagney, Edward G. Robinson, Burt Lancaster. I like Barbara Stanwyck, Betty Davis, Kirk Douglas, Brando.
I heard that you do an unbelievable Kirk Douglas.
I do a lot of impressions.
Let's get a Kirk.
A Kirk, Well, I don't know. I haven't done Kirk in many years. I think I do a much better Burt.
Okay.
So Michael K.
All right.
It's nice to meet you. He said, "You're a cookie full of arsenic. I'd hate to take a bite out of you." That's some sweet smell. But you have to do the whole thing,
right?
All the moves, and Burt and Kirk both were very physical. One guy was an acrobat, one guy was a wrestler.
Right.
And really physical performers.
Now you ended up going to SUNY New Paltz, and you study acting and theater.
Right.
It's like right near the Catskill Mountains.
Right.
And you're from Queens. Was it a tough adjustment?
It was very different for me. People would say hello to you on the street. I was like, wow, everybody's friendly. Everybody's friendly. And we had great teachers there, and I really blossomed. It was not such a pressurized environment, but I was very focused. And it took a little adjustment, but once I got adjusted to it, it was great for me.
I'm wondering, John, you came from a blue-collar family.
Yeah.
Acting is not a blue-collar thing. What did Dad think about that? Did he say, no way, this isn't happening?
He was a great storyteller and sort of a performer, and his brothers are very expressive guys, too. And so I always thought, these people were like sort of larger than life, but no one officially declared themselves to be an actor. One of my good friends who I played basketball, his name is John Mazzio, he told me, he said, someday, you should write something about your father, because they would have arguments, even though we were 10 years old. We would buy these films from Jim Jacobs. We used to send away Ring magazine.
The boxing guy, Mike Tyson's.
Yes. Right. So we would watch these films, and my friend would have arguments with my father about was Max Baer better than Joe Louis when he was at his peak, even though Joe Louis beat him. And my father would have arguments with him as if he was a man. You know what I mean? And he would say, "John, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know. You weren't there. I was there." And he said, "Well, Mr. Turturro, I think you only saw you never really saw these fights. You just listened to them on the radio." He was really, So I was always laughing at my father's, he had a kind of a childlike, innocence sometimes to his interchange. So yeah, it was, once I declared that, he wanted me to be an architect. I did well in school, or a lawyer. He always was worried about what would I do as a fallback. So eventually, when I went back to grad school, when I went to Yale Drama School, and I got a scholarship there, and I said, well, I could teach. Okay, is that all right? I'll teach. And you know, he was okay. My mother was very supportive. She said, do really what you want to do.
Did your dad live to see your success?
You know, he didn't see that much, but he saw enough. Funny story is I did To Live and Die in L.A.
Right.
And we went to the screening of it, you know. And my father's a builder, so he smokes wherever he smoked wherever he wanted to. You know? And I said, Dad, there's no smoking. He told me, like, shh, be quiet. You know, I'm watching the film, you know. And I have a scene in the movie where, you know, I'm being chased by Bill Peterson through an airport. And my father just blurted out in front of like 1,500 people, like, go, John! He was like, go, John, go! He was like that. And I'm sitting there like with my friend, like, oh my God. And he's smoking a cigarette. He can't catch John. You know what I mean? He's got long legs. He goes, the guy's got long legs. He goes, go, John! He's like that. And I'm like, I would die. And you know, he loved the movie, and I was like conflicted about it because, you know, I hadn't seen myself in many movies. And after the movie, Andy Warhol comes up to me, and we're talking, and he's got, you know, this like blonde mop wig, and my father's there looking at him, you know, and he's really white, Andy Warhol. And he, right in front of him, he goes, who's that guy? He goes, who's that guy? He looks just like an albino. He goes, who is that? He goes, and Andy Warhol heard him, and he was smiling like, you know, because, you know, he's kind of perverse anyway.
Right.
Andy Warhol. But my father really got a kick out of it. So he did get to see me do, he saw me do Five Corners and The Sicilian, and I think he would have enjoyed, you know, that I got to play Howard. Oh, that would have been a big thing for him. You know.
He would have been torn. He didn't like him, but he loved you.
Yeah, he would have been, you know, I would have come home with the wig and everything, you know. Dad, you know, it's over for you, Nick, you know.
John Turturro makes it big when we get back on Center Stage.